Welcome to Mythic Garothi Worldbreaker. It's the first boss inside of Antorus. This strat does work well for the heroic and normal strat. There's one difference as a tank that I do mention in the guide. But let's start with the talents. Talent-wise, Abyssal Strike is really good here. Fallout, Flame Crash, Fracture, so the standard 4. And then Concentrated Sigils for the damage, because there are no adds to chains. Spirit Bomb, Last Resort. You could use Demonic Infusion, but there's so much downtime between tanking and kiting that you can get your Demon Spikes back, so it's not needed. Soul Barrier could be okay, especially in Phase 3 when there's a lot of just ticking damage, but Last Resort is probably the go-to here. Gear-wise, I use the 2-piece tier 20. If you have the 4-piece tier 21, it could be okay. It's not that great, but it could be okay. I use Archon's Hatred Reborn, and I use Oblivion's Embrace. Other legendaries that I would use, Pride S would be okay. There are some magic damage, so if you have Cloak but nothing else, Cloak would be okay. Belt for damage. The boots would be okay, nothing great. Nothing to interrupt, so Sephuz is not good. Insignia is good for single target damage if you have the good tier 2 talents inside the Crucible. Other trinkets, I use the Demon's Glacial Aegis. I'm a huge fan of this right now, just because of the damage and the agility and the armor proc with the 1-minute CD. You can use Dark Moon card, you can use Apocalypse Drive, you could use a lot of different things, so just follow the normal trinket guide, whether you want a DPS or go for survival. And then consumables are the normal Agility Flask, Agility Food, Potion of Prolon or Old War, and your Augment Rune. So let's go ahead and take a look at the guide. So here is Mythic Garothi Worldbreaker. This fight as a tank doesn't change between normal, heroic, and mythic, so I'm going to show you the small differences. So if you're watching this, you want to know how to do it on heroic, you will see. So basically, on the pull, it's the normal pull rotation, jump in, fire your brand, soul cover, MO, Archmon's Hatred Reborn, the normal rotation.
2, 1.
Oh, I'm gonna put out positioning real quick. Right now, there's 2 markers, diamond, and I think that's nipple right here. All the melee stands on 1, and then when the giant AoE circle comes down, they just shift to diamond, they stay there, giant AoE circle, they shift back. And the range has the same circles, they have a moon and something else. So at all points of the fight, melee are swapping between 2 points, and range are swapping between 2 points, and the tanks are going to be positioned over on this side, and always stay here, so this side of the room will always be clear. So, Mythic hits kind of hard if you're under geared. So you're going to say, I think I actually died prematurely in this fight, prop at Last Resort. So, when you get Fell Bombardment, the off-tank taunts, and you just have to go right away on Mythic. On Heroic, you should go right away, and normal, you have plenty of time, because travel time on the missiles take a while. But on Mythic, you just got to go. So, as you can see, this entire side of the room is clear, so I don't have to worry about hitting people. So when it says keep moving, you just gotta, well, keep moving. And then I'm gonna Inferno Slam back into position. These are soak circles. We can soak them in Phase 1 and Phase 2, but it's better if we don't let somebody else do it. But since this one's right where I'm gonna stand anyway, I'm gonna soak that. I'm gonna instantly taunt so the co-tank can run out. And honestly, this is all we do for the entire fight. Like, nothing changes. We're constantly just cutting out. Oh, one thing first. This is an invisible wall here. Closer you are to it, more likely you're going to accidentally pick up spirits or souls that you would want to use for spirit bombs. You want to stay at max range, so you're less likely to pick up souls. Think of Heldia or Croesus. So I get the debuff, I go out.
Four, three, two, one.
I'll give more commentary when the fight changes, but honestly this is all you do in phase 1, well, all 3 phases. But some things change once you push between phases.
Four, three, two, one.
The soaks are divided amongst every person it hits. So there's 3 people that stood in it, so all the damage is divided by 3. Even at Mythic, 1 person is enough to soak it, so it's not really that big of a deal to stack people. So Apocalypse Drive starting now. Keep in mind, as he's doing that, I still have to run because the felt bombardment still goes off. So here's where it changes between Mythic and all other difficulties. On Mythic, you want to kill the right gun first. On Heroic and Normal, you want to kill the left one first. And Normal and Heroic, when you kill the left one, the soak mechanic is removed from the game. If you kill the right one in Mythic, basically the giant AoE circles will now stun people. That is better to deal with than the last one, which you'll see when we get there. And then also just don't stand in this ground stuff. So we break the right one. Now he's going to do his Eradication. As a tank, you can just stay in. You want to use Empowered Wards, you want to use Fiery Brand if you have it. Just anything that mitigates damage. Archmon's Hatred Reborn. If it's ready. But it doesn't hit too hard on a tank. Everybody else has to get out. So you can see the positioning where the tanks stay to the left and melee stay to the right. See right there, last resort procced. I think the healers got caught up doing something. I don't know what happened. I just wasn't getting any heals. What shouldn't happen. In this phase, since we destroyed the turret, you now get a dot on you. So if you want to abuse your siphon power with your Empowered Wards, you can use Empowered Wards every time you have the dot on you to get a little more agility. Because you don't need it at any other point of the fight besides Eradication. There's the dot. The weak rules will still be in the comments. Overall, this is not a hard fight. However, people can die pretty easily if they're not paying attention. It took us probably 6-ish pulls to get through it. A lot of the wipes before were sub 10%. It's because we lost too many people due to just passive AoE damage.
3, 2, 1.
For Apocalypse Drive, healers has to stack up their AoE CDs. Because it's going to hurt even though you are running out. Right before this turret dies, we tell the melee to get out. If they're like a paladin or a DK that doesn't have much mobility, tell them to get out. Like the paladin just popped a bubble and stayed in. This is where you bloodlust, because right now it's just attrition. You want to kill him before he kills you. So the biggest change now, which is why you break the left one last, is these circles here will explode once, knock the person way back, then explode a second time. And if you don't soak it, you die. Because right there's the second set, you can see it right here. This is the second explosion coming in. And they all have to be soaked.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Honestly, look like we missed one, believe it or not. And this is how the entire fight goes. This is it. You just play this out to the end. 20% left. A few times when I've been running back with bombardment, there's soaks back through here. If that happens, the person that's soaking has to be careful.
4,
Like I almost killed that Boom King because he got shot into me.
1.
Just missed him. So if they're in the way, you have to tell them like you're coming through, but they can't move, they have to soak. So just let them know that you're coming through, so hopefully they can pop a CD if they have one.
3, 2, 1.
A lot of ray damage is coming out right now. I think right now, if I'm getting close, I can almost kill him. For the double soaks, what we tell people to do is go soak. Like every single person needs to go and try to soak. But if somebody's already standing in it, they wait outside it, so after the first explosion, they stand in the second explosion. And all your damage and healers have to be ready to do that.
4, 3, 2.
A lot of ray damage going out now. Supposedly that was a misclick. The Holy Priest just left crit me into the raid with the debuff. Needless to say, I was pretty not very happy because he got somebody killed.
3, 2.
But he said it was a misclick. That yeah, that's bad. That's Mythic Garothi Worldbreaker. Honestly, pretty easy fight going in. If your raid healers do a good job, you'll kill this relatively quick, because there really isn't much to it besides a ton of damage at the end of the fight. So yeah, if you have any comments, please leave it in the, well, any questions, leave it in the comments below. Thanks for watching.